Last week, we spoke about a 500 million rand housing development in the Access Symphony Way area that hangs in the balance because of extortion rackets in that area. And again, today we talk about a 400 million rand road upgrade project that's also being delayed. The AZ Berman upgrade, which will house the MyCiTi route in the Mitchells Plain area, has been in the balance, has been in limbo since about February because contractors fear for their safety. The city of Cape Town has now approached or will approach the High Court seeking an interdict to prevent so-called business forums in the area for trying to delay the construction of that MyCiTi route in the Mitchells Plain area. Business forums have often been the shorthand used by essentially extortion rackets in many parts of South Africa. Rob Quintas is the Mayco member for mobility. Rob, really appreciate your time. If we have seen in the past that organized crime has been a part of the so-called extortion rackets preventing construction on public projects from getting off the ground, why you're seeking a court interdict from the High Court? Why not simply just go to the South African Police Service saying we've been held to ransom by nefarious characters, alleged criminals who want a slice of the pie for public projects? Rob, why a court interdict and not a police investigation and hopefully arrests and convictions, Rob?
Very good morning to you, Lester, and all of your listeners, and thank you for having me on the show this morning. So, Lester, going to the South African Police Services with a case of intimidation or harassment is an avenue that is also simultaneously on the go. It does form, of course, part of that interdict. The interdict does allow for a greater sense of sort of stricture on any entity that is involved in any way in disrupting at a site. So you would normally go for a case against a person, a natural person, but an interdict, when it comes to an organization and all of its affiliates and members, is a larger blanket form of stricture. If you recall, a similar path was taken during the taxi violence in August last year, where interdicts from Golden Arrow buses, as well as the city and the Western Cape government, were all lined up to prevent any further disruption of the city during that violence. So that it then holds the organization and all of its members to account.
The city has reported 96 incidents of, or attempted incidents of extortion of ongoing construction projects between February 2023 and February 2024. They're described as so-called business development forums. Is this out and out criminality in the form of extortion? We won't allow you to continue construction here unless you pay some sort of protection fee? Or are these business forums that say we won't allow you to continue construction unless you use X contractor or you employ A, B, and C people in our community? What is the profile of these so-called business forums?
So, look, to be fair, there are business forums that, do exactly that, which promote the collaborations and the good works that are available by various contractors or suppliers in an area. And, they're legitimate and they do their work properly. However, as you indicated in the beginning of the show, is that, unfortunately, you do find these rather menacing organizations that use the sort of development forum body as a front for extorting their way onto a project. So the business forums tend to push for further inclusion of sort of member organizations, whether it be just using an example, it could be something like a bricklayer, an electrician, someone who works in mild, sort of light construction, for them to now be included over and above the percentage target of what is required legislatively per project for inclusion of both local labor, unskilled, as well as local subcontractors, which would be then your semi-skilled or skilled smaller works that the contractor has to include in the project along with the scope of work. Now, we've been busy with AZ Berman, for an example, and many other areas in Cape Town. This continues and popped its head up at the Spine Road Depot with the Khayelitsha Development Forum as well. But the reality is that, these organizations are wanting an additional scope made available for their members, and then over and above what is legislated, and then what will be prepared to intimidate, threaten. In some instances, we've had acts of violence, fatalities, in an effort to twist the arm of the City of Cape Town or the contractor to allow persons to have unfettered access to public money.
But for now, Rob, the AZ Berman project remains grounded. Concerns from the contractor around safety, that they will go off-site because the safety cannot be guaranteed. Does it mean that there's still no movement on the AZ Berman MyCiTi project?
Thankfully, there is movement starting again. We have engaged with the contractor, and there will now be additional roving security in the form of sort of tactical response units that are going to be at the site whilst we continue with the court order interdict application, which we are hoping to receive within the next 48 hours.
Councillor Rob Quintas, Mayco member for Mobility, really appreciate your time.